Today I'm going to cover 3 basic stitch patterns that are easily confused with each other, and we'll look at it and see each one and see what it's made of and how it's knit and why they're different. The first one is garter stitch, where you knit every row. Okay, so on the right side you knit 1 row, and on the wrong side you knit a row. Okay. What happens is that what you produce on both sides, and it's reversible and it lays nice and flat, is you end up producing a row of purls and then a row of knits that you don't see very well, a row of purls, a row of knits, and the same thing on the reverse. How do you tell that is that these loops that you see on here were the stitches that were on your needle. So I like to put a needle in the loop. You see it? Okay. And now I look at the base of that loop, and there isn't the purl bar that lays across it. So this is a knit row. This stitch and every stitch next to it is a knit stitch. Okay. Well, if I go ahead and put my needle in the next row up, and I see my loop, but at the bottom of it I can see the little bar. Okay, that row is a purl row. Okay, that's where you see there. Now let's compare that with stockinette, which is another basic stitch. Here on the right side row you knit 1 row, and when you get on the wrong side you purl 1 row. What you end up producing is stockinette stitch, and you will have on the right side of the work all knit rows. On the wrong side of the work all purl rows, and you can see the typical tendency of stockinette to want to curl on the edges, and when it won't lay flat ever like garter does, so you always put some kind of border that does lay flat around it if you want it to do that. Okay, and again we want to, if you have to do counting rows, you would look at the individual loops. You would count 1, 2, 3 like that. But you can see how it's very different. The last one, which is often confused, is called reverse stockinette. Okay, and it is on the right side row you purl, and on the wrong side row you knit. It is exactly like stockinette. Okay, it is the same stitch, except now they're saying that the right side is the purl side. This is different. This is important, that this is different, and stockinette is too, from garter stitch. Notice that the garter stitch rows, the purl rows, are further spaced apart. That's because there's that invisible knit row that you can't, that's receding in the fabric. So it is a little more spacey like that, and yet this one is very tight, very concise, because every row that is looking at you is a purl row. This one, only every other row is a purl row. And those are the differences, and I hope that helped. Thank you.